Fallout 76 was one of Bethesda's biggest mistakes. Released in 2018, Fallout 76 just never felt on brand with the rest of the beloved Fallout series. But oddly enough, Fallout 76 is currently one of the most popular games to play and even eclipsed over 1 million concurrent players. So today we're going to be answering the simple question: is Fallout 76 worth playing? But before we get into that, let's take you a few steps back. In 2018, the launch of Fallout 76 was pretty much a complete flop. It's the polar opposite of Fallout 3, New Vegas, and Fallout 4. All of those were massive successes. However, Bethesda really wanted to engage a different type of audience. So not only was Fallout 76 the first multiplayer Fallout game, but the entire game revolved around this online PvP component. So much so that at the release of Fallout 76, there wasn't a single NPC character on the entire map. Up until this point, NPCs are weirdly the lifeblood for RPGs, and Fallout is no exception. Fallout is built on exploration, survival, and random NPCs giving you the craziest quests you could ever imagine, or simply just advancing the storyline. But let's put ourselves into the shoes of a Bethesda developer. Up until this point, they have only known major success for the franchise. However, the world was increasingly growing more popular with multiplayer gaming. Up to this point, Fallout never added in multiplayer components. Its true bread and butter was through a single-player RPG survival experience. Fallout as a franchise really got its identity through the depth of the Wasteland, all the vast storylines you could follow, and this internal feeling of me versus the entire Wasteland. Now, Fallout 76 didn't just have a different identity altogether, the game didn't really work as the developers were hoping. Mainly because people simply waited outside the vault and killed any new player who tried to enter Appalachia. It made for a chaotic scene and griefers were everywhere. This led to Bethesda eventually forcing players to have to opt into the PvP mode to prevent stuff like this from happening, which kind of eliminated the entire mantra for Fallout 76. However, part of this story actually shows one of the game's strengths. Because it's a living, breathing game, updates can happen at any time. So in theory, the game should always get increasingly better over time, which is definitely the case for Fallout 76. Outside of the game having instability issues, glitches, bugs, etc., the Fallout 76 controversy goes even past the game itself. As with many popular gaming series, Fallout has die-hard fans, so Bethesda decided to release a $200 copy of Fallout 76 with the promise of a special canvas bag, knowing some fans would love the collectible. However, the promised canvas bags were a complete disaster. Fans started to get these cheap quality nylon bags looking nothing like what was originally promised. To compensate people for the cheap quality, they decided to offer patrons 500 atoms, which is Fallout's in-game virtual currency that you can buy. What does 500 atoms equal, you might ask? Well, 500 atoms equals $5 US, which isn't even enough to buy the Fallout 76 Postman skin, who comes equipped with an actual canvas bag. The point I'm trying to make is that the Fallout 76 flop goes way beyond just the game's disappointment. There were so many layers to the pain that it becomes a developer's worst nightmare. So as you can tell, there's always been a lot of noise with Fallout 76, but supposedly in today's gaming world, Fallout 76 is in a much better place. So I knew I had to hop into the game myself and give my own review. So I created my own character and decided to venture out of Vault 76 and into Appalachia. I still can't tell if I like this or I hate this, but Fallout 76 gives you the option to basically start on easy mode. You can leave the vault at level 20 with equipment to adequately survive. This honestly felt wrong because Fallout requires a scavenger's mindset and technique if you really want to thrive in the Wasteland. The level 20 option felt just like cheating in a way. After leaving Vault 76, choosing level 20, I immediately got into my first combat and I noticed something right away. That is weird. I don't know how else to put it. It's cool that it's in real time now, but the functionality is just so clunky and it feels extremely delayed with when you shoot and when the bullet actually connects. Like the VATS is so weird, man. Like, look how delayed that is. It's just bizarre. After eliminating what felt like training dummies, I got my first taste for the lure and the lust of Fallout 76, live action events. I immediately went to the area and started locking arms with my fellow Vault dwellers. It was a really cool experience to see other players in the wasteland and work towards a common goal. After completing it, we got some rewards delivered by Mothman and chaos ensued. Of course I joined, but Mothman wasn't actually able to be taken down, but we can get his health all the way to 1, just not to 0. I played a few more hours and quickly noticed that the combat felt easy. See, I mean, like, it's just a little too easy, and I'm not that good at this game. Quick side note here, because it's not all doom and gloom with Fallout 76, but I love how easy they made looting. If multiple people or things are dead within a small area, you can loot them all at once. This saves a ton of time and is a really good quality of life change. Now, going back to the combat, maybe I spoke too soon because I got way ahead of myself and took on a Deathclaw. Close call, but somehow we survived. But outside of that one Deathclaw fight, the combat feels kind of like a joke, especially for what I'm used to in the Fallout series. As I continued my journey, I realized how different the wasteland felt. For the first time, it felt almost optimistic, and I think it's due to the color scheme and the map the game provides you, but it's just so different. Fallout typically has a dark, gloomy tint throughout the entire game. That's done by design because you are, at the end of the day, supposed to be in a post-apocalyptic world that went through a crazy nuclear war. Then it dawned on me. Fallout 76 was never created for Fallout fans. It was always created to try and draw in a new crowd to then ultimately become Fallout fans. Fallout 76 is almost like an arcade version of Fallout. Instead of having to scavenge and grind and survive, a lot of that is given to you or easily found so you can just enjoy running around Appalachia with friends or trying to take down enemies. The main issue with the delivery of Fallout 76 was the fact that most people either played Fallout or you didn't. There was very few people who just casually dabbled in Fallout. You rarely have someone who's only played Fallout 3 or New Vegas and never continued on the journey. So when players who never touched Fallout heard about Fallout 76, I'm sure they really never gave it a fair chance, especially after its rough launch. Fast forward to today, and it makes complete sense why this game has risen significantly in popularity. Due to the success of the Amazon show Fallout, people absolutely love this show, and it's making people even more interested in the Fallout franchise. It's almost like the goal of Fallout 76 was actually achieved through the Amazon Prime show Fallout, because now everyone is talking about Fallout and it is expanding to a much bigger audience. There's no better game for a brand new player to dip their feet into than Fallout 76. Once you have some sort of experience in the wasteland, or if you've previously played 3, New Vegas, or 4, it just honestly isn't appealing. It's cool if you want to team up with a couple friends, but the game just doesn't feel like there's a real purpose to playing. Whereas in every other Fallout game, there's a true deep storyline why you need to go on these quests to either save the wasteland, find your father, do so many crazy things. But Fallout 76, you're just kind of there. But for this new audience, people who have never experienced a Fallout before, I really think that Fallout 76 is the perfect way to get introduced into the gaming side of Fallout, especially because it's the only Fallout you can experience with friends. That's why I'm gonna give Fallout 76 2 separate reviews. As mentioned, if you've never dabbled in Fallout before, then it's a nice way to get your feet wet in the franchise. But if you're a seasoned vet in the wasteland, I personally wouldn't waste any time on this game unless you had a few other buddies who you can constantly explore Appalachia with. I know this video has mainly been negative, but we do have to give Bethesda some credit in reviving this game. They could have easily threw in the towel and never fixed their mistakes and just kind of let the game die out. But they constantly listened to fan feedback, even though it did take a while, and they ultimately got Fallout 76 to the place where they most likely wanted it to originally be. And that is a game for a new Fallout crowd, one that can enjoy Fallout in a lighter, less serious way. So Fallout 76 is one of the most interesting comeback stories in the history of gaming. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But is it a completely brand new game from its launch day? Absolutely, and for the better. If you enjoyed watching this, then you'll probably like my video on the history of the Fallout franchise, and you can watch that video by clicking right here.